was like, I'm going to be a serial killer when I'm an elderly lady for low-risk victims that no one's going to know, like runaways and stuff. And then I'm going to do a big-risk victim and then die in a blaze of glory.
I mean, honestly, no one really thinks about the old ladies, so...
No, that's what I told him!
You might be onto something, man. Hi guys, and welcome back to Killing Time with Rogue. Due to some technical difficulties with the last podcast that was supposed to be up, posted last week, it'll be posted on Saturday, as in 6 days from now. Today we are going to be reading directly off of an article to see what kind of craziness we can get into.
Today we're about Bella and the Wych Elm. Bella was a woman who was ritualistically killing
Ritualistic.
Killing sparked one of Britain's greatest murder mysteries. She was the victim of a tangled wartime web of espionage and black magic some 75 years ago. Bella's skull was found wedged in a tree hollow near Hagley in Worcestershire has never been identified.
Worcestershire. Wow.
Worcestershire.
Yeah. The killer who ritualistically maimed the body, a piece of taffeta cloth was forced into Bella's mouth. One hand was severed. What? Oh, the killer who ritualistically maimed the body has never been brought to justice. Holy shit. The main change after Caroline Wilkinson, the expert tasked with rebuilding Richard III's face after Royal's remains were found under Leicester car park, recreated Bella's features. Holy shit.
The perfect canofacial identification at Dundee University used photographs taken at the same time to put a face to the name. She could not use the actual skull discovered by the four-year-old young schoolboy collecting birds' eggs in a thick woodland. There is a reason, though. A crucial piece of evidence has been lost by the police. The Birmingham counselor Peter Douglas Osborne, an expert on Bella's case, told news outlets
that has been confirmed by West Midlands Police, where a spokesperson said, quote, searches have been conducted by the police museum volunteers, and they have confirmed that we hold no exhibits and can find no documentation that may relate to this case at either of the West Midlands Police museums. Additionally, searches were carried out by our Force Records team, who have confirmed that there is no relevant documentation held with major investigation team or in external storage, end quote.
The skull dates back to a time when Hagley fell within the West Midlands police boundary. She explained that has not been the case for many years. It's been housed at a Birmingham forensic lab, then moved to the police city base, Tallyho, on the Pershore Road.
The skull's whereabouts are not now known, a spokesperson admitted, but striking image of Bella, suspected of being a Nazi spy, will feature in a new book, Who Put Bella in the Wych Elm, written by Peter Samel Birmingham. Counselor Osborne, who has a keen interest in this country's most baffling crime, hopes it will at least provide answers.
His late father, squadron leader William Douglas Osborne, was tasked with guarding the murder scene on the southern edge of the Black Country when the remains were found on April 18, 1943. Quote, I believe she was killed before 1941, end quote, says Peter. Quote, the reconstruction is impressive. Now it's a question of asking members of the public to thumb through a family album.
Anyone who has had direct contact with her is probably dead, end quote. The strange case is the stuff of popular rural sleuth TV series. Midsummer Murders. And the mystery has endured because of sporadic outbreaks of graffiti in the area, the first appearing 6 months after the body was found. Scrawled
message asked the same question. Who put Bella in the Wych Elm? The tags still occasionally appear today, but the more
pertinent
question is, who is Bella? Painstaking detectives and forensic work revealed that the victim's age was around 35 to 40 and had given birth to a child.
The body had rotted in the woodland for at least 18 months. The murder was ritualistic and had all the hallmarks of satanic ceremony. The crime scene mirrored an ancient ceremony known as Hand of Glory, where bones were scattered to the wind. A hand had been severed, a wad of taffeta wedged in the victim's mouth.
One of her arms has been left 13 paces from the skeletal remains. An
ancient.
An ancient custom used. I'm sorry. When a witch was executed, the choice of tree was also
significant.
Hold on. Wych Elm. The freaking Harry Potter so triple and forget. Wych Elm playing an important part in the black arts. Add to the mix the fact that the belladonna is an ancient name for a deadly nightshade, a plant closely associated with witchcraft. So too was the murder scene, Hagwood Woods. The occult theory was cranked up following the murders of Charles Walton in February of 1945 on a nearby Melon Hill. Sorry, I was in the mix of getting attacked by my cat for my necklace.
He fell skewered to the ground by a pitchfork. A Satanism was expected by some. Locals remained tight-lipped when approached by the police. Peter believes the devil worship theories are smokescreen spawned by MI5 and described those 13 paces as convenient.
Bella was a Nazi spy, he believes, and she was based in the Clint Hills area, an ideal place to monitor the mutton factories subbed around the Black County and Birmingham. Others believe that she was slain after tripping upon a third rich cell.
Right.
I believe a spy story, Peter says, but it's a circumstantial evidence. There's no proof such as.
The graffiti is another red herring. The initial ones may have been done by an ex-lover attempting to get a case report reopened. He says, quote, the rest have been copycats, end quote. One name for the victim, dubbed Bella because of the graffiti, has been put forward. It has been claimed that Czech-born Gestapo agent Joseph Jacobs, captured by the Home Guard in 1941 after parachuting into Cambridgeshire, gave interrogators her name and picture.
She was a spy's lover, Clara Berler, a German actress and a cabaret singer before the war, she spent 2 years working in West Midlands music halls and had mastered a Birmingham accent. Claire had been recruited by the Giuseppeo and the Jacobs was given a job of creating a spy cell over here. The pair never made contact.
Intriguingly, no showbiz record of Clara, no films, billboards, or records of engagement existing after spring 1941. She simply disappeared off the face of the earth. Jacobs was in no position to add to his claims. He was executed by firing squad on August 15th, 1941. The last man to be put to death at the Tower of London. The sentence was preceded by the MI5 tongue lashing for the Dad's Army members who captured Jacobs.
The world and his wife knew of his arrest, quote, on account of inability of home guard to keep their mouths shut, end quote. And the spokes said, at present, Jacob's confession is simply one of those strings of theories, some credible, some simply incredible. Police have in the past dismissed any talk of Satanism and publicly stated that the position of scattered bones suggested they were displaced by wild animals.
They concentrated on claims that Bella was a prostitute, slaughtered by a twisted punter. Oh man. There's one thing beyond argument. Detectives attempting to solve the crime hit a wall of silence. The murder was uncovered by Fred Payne, Thomas Wiltz, Robert Hart, and Bob Farmer, young boys who'd ventured into the coppice in search of bird eggs.
The vision of what they found would stay in. The visions of what they found would stay with them for a lifetime. Bob scrambled up an old wych elm tree and let out piercing screams. Wedged in a hollow, was a skull. He would later recall there was a small patch of rotting flesh on the forehead with length of hair attached to it. The two front teeth were crooked, and it would be some time before the boys, fearing they would land in the hot water for trespassing, raised alarms.
After all, they were unsure their remains were even human. In the end, it was the youngest of the egg collectors, Tommy Wiltz, who informed his father of what lurked in the woods. Police immediately swooped on the dark, eerie parcel of land. What they discovered sent a chill down the spine of hardened detectives. Pathologist Professor James Webster left no stone unturned in his bid to identify the body.
He found out the corpse was still warm when placed in the tree. Bella had died from asphyxiation caused by the plug of taffeta. Detective source, National Dental Records, and every missing person file, but drew a blank. Now at last, they have something to work on. Peter Douglas Osborne believes the image on his page will finally provide the answers that have indulged
eluded
police for decades.
So, do you agree with this article that she would have been some kind of witch or espionage related to spy work for the Nazis?
It wouldn't be like abnormal for that time period.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think, she's either that or she just was in an unfortunate situation at an unfortunate time. So, I did.
Yeah, it is kind of weird how she ended up at the base of a tree, like in the trunk.
Yeah.
Like I said in the article, she would have had to been put in warm, alive. She would have had to been put alive. Are you okay?
Coco, this whole time, my goddamn necklace, and she just fucking stuck her claws into my throat. Get away from me! Now! Go! Shoo! Okay. This has been drastic. This has been a disaster.
Although we have been laughing a lot in this podcast, it is a pretty serious cold case. It wasn't solved for 75 years. So, what do you guys think would have happened to Bella that landed up in the Wych Elm? Do you think she was a witch? Part of a satanic ritual? You know, anything that you guys have suggestions on, put it in the comments below. As a reminder, we are hosting a live stream on our Twitch channel. Killing Time with Rogue on December 20th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel under Killing Time Podcast, and follow us on our Patreon for exclusive access to episodes and merchandise. Thank you all for listening and bearing with us for this week due to all the technical difficulties we've been having. We will see you guys next week.
Bye!
Bye, guys.